Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you are all doing well. There's once again a lot to cover, and it's all because of what Facebook said exactly a month ago. While world leaders are facing the threat of Libra and Facebook's massive user base of 2.5 billion people, enough to transform the entire global financial system seemingly overnight, Japan is spearheading the development of a SWIFT-like network for cryptocurrency. This was reported by Reuters. Similar to the SWIFT network used by banks, the new international crypto-based platform would allow banks to track transactions and more effectively fight money laundering. Set to launch in the next few years, it would be monitored by a team related to the Intergovernmental Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF. Given the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies, which run on public blockchains, however, it remains unclear how the system would conduct its surveillance. Meanwhile, the world's financial leaders are moving in concert to stay ahead of the Libra threat. Gathering at the G7 conference in France on Wednesday, Italy's finance minister told Reuters, he said there's widespread concern and a decision that this concern should translate into action to control what's going on, end quote. The news outlet reports that a source said that there was a very large consensus on the need to act quickly, there we go, in response to the changing landscape of money and global payments, and with Facebook's looming entry into the industry. Japanese Finance Minister Taro Aso is initiating plans for a comprehensive assessment of Facebook's Libra. So, working in some sort of way, we now see, and it's once again odd that all of this is only transpiring because of Facebook's Libra. And it's really weird because what I've seen over the last couple of, sorry for talking so fast, what I've seen over the last couple of weeks is that there are a lot of banks, even like smaller banks, normal institutions, they're starting to release information or advertising for their new quicker payment systems. They have a new app coming out. They have new this coming out. And have you tried our new this? We have this coming out in the wings as well. Quicker payments, cheaper options, free bank accounts, this so and so and so, because they're looking desperately for ways to try and make sure that people stay with them, or that people see that cryptocurrencies are an option, but they try to match them in some sort of way. So this seems to be the reason why the Japanese government is trying to create a SWIFT-like network, but for cryptocurrency. The fact is, they wouldn't be able to, especially with a lot of the larger or more well-known cryptocurrency projects, talking about initiating, or at some point this year or the beginning of next year, going to initiate private transactions onto the networks. That includes Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to happen as quick, because when they do review the code for Bitcoin, they make sure that everything is completely correct before they do any upgrades. We know that Ethereum at some point soon plans on offering or having private transactions on their network, or at least obfuscated in some sort of way that they can't easily be tracked. The people from Litecoin have also announced that they're going to have private transactions. We also have the already Zcash Dash, what's the other one? Monero, and there are a lot of other coins as well that are slowly moving to the front of the cryptocurrency 2030 top 30 list, who have also announced in some sort of way over the last year that they also plan on initiating Mimblewimble, ZK Starks, all of these things on top of the network. So being able to monitor or surveillance them will be kind of difficult. We know that right now governments can, if they want to, with the right amount of money, especially with that company called Chainalysis, track exactly where cryptocurrency transactions are going, but you typically need a bit more information. You have to know, the person has to have revealed beforehand some sort of information about themselves so that you can connect it with them, and then you can kind of say, okay, well, this address right here has to simply be them, and therefore we are going to write their name above it and say that every single transaction going to this account must be them, so on and so forth. What this probably means is that governments, and pay attention to this entire video because it's going to get very intense very quick, governments are probably going to try, in my opinion, sometime over the next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to take them months anymore. I think they realize that there's a bear at the door, and you can't sit there sipping tea for the rest of your life, because at some point the bear's going to break through and maul you. That's the nicest way of really the nicest way of kind of saying it. What I think is going to happen in the next couple of weeks is that we're going to see a barrage of cryptocurrency related regulations that are going to try and put a dampening on, or water down the cryptocurrency industry, and try and put fear into people's hearts. Like I said, continue to pay attention to exactly what's going on in this video. So what I think this is the precursor to is an enormous amount of regulation on top of cryptocurrency exchanges or anything else that touches cryptocurrency. Because until this point, at least, governments have made sure that they knew what was going on within cryptocurrency exchanges, or they had a basic general idea of what was happening in the cryptocurrency space, but it was largely left majorly unregulated compared to the traditional financial markets, simply because they didn't care about it. They knew that there were a couple $1 billion swinging back and forth, but it had nothing to really do with them. It was happening in different places around the world. They're going to try and hamper down as quickly as possible. And I assume the connection here, for those of you who were here in 2018, remember I said it was very weird that there were so many cryptocurrency exchanges who were applying for banking charters, who were applying for banking licenses, and a couple of them ended up getting it. And this is why I said before, I felt like that Coinbase was basically a bank at this point, because it kind of works like an online bank. There's no real physical location where you can go to a Coinbase ATM, but you can, put your crypto onto your phone and kind of make payments if you so choose to do so with that. I think world leaders are going to try and connect to this network, as it is a Swift-like network for cryptocurrency. They will probably try to find a way to link it between themselves a lot quicker. And it'll pretty much be that anyone using cryptocurrency through a cryptocurrency exchange will have an enormous amount of know your customer, KYC, everything. They will know your address, know your family name, your blood type. You laugh. That is not a joke. They're trying to make sure the fact that they're calling Libra a threat, and that they're calling the wider cryptocurrency space a threat, or that they're slowly starting to come to the conclusion that they cannot control Bitcoin, but what they can control is the cryptocurrency exchanges. What they don't understand is, and once again, this is usually the best part, is that there are other ways to be able to transact in cryptocurrencies besides just cryptocurrency exchanges. I can transact to you, you can send it to my wallet, I can send it to yours. We simply have to download the code, download the wallet, download the actual Bitcoin core network software onto our computers, and this is simply how it works. So they will, it is not a maybe or an if, governments will have complete control over cryptocurrency exchanges over the next couple of months. It's just kind of how it is. Here's the actual article from Reuters. It says, Japan to lead development on Swift network for cryptocurrencies. We should have all seen this coming. This should be a surprise to no one. What I think is a surprise to a lot of people is that they're not connecting the dots. Anytime you see something that looks relatively, not even relatively similar, pay attention to kind of everything that's connecting together. The first couple of things in this video connect directly together because they're happening too close together, which was very similar to what we had at the beginning of 2018, where all the governments once again were coming forward talking about this has to happen, this is going to be banned, this is so and so. And so they're trying to scare the market in their own way. Because the easiest thing to do is if you put fear into someone's heart and let them know that they should not be doing something, or that, hey, there's a better alternative to what you're doing right now that may potentially be illegal. It's not. And therefore, we're going to create a new system where you can make sure that you're not doing anything illegal. You're not, there's no money laundering. There's nothing going on, which pay attention to the phrases that these government official users use. Anyway, here's the article once again from Reuters, and let's move on to the next thing that ties directly into what we were just talking about. In his cryptocurrency briefing on Monday, which we already spoke about, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin supported President Donald Trump's crypto tweet affirming that cryptocurrencies can be used by crooks. It gets crazier, ratcheting up his anti-Bitcoin sentiment. Mnuchin links the world's leading cryptocurrency to a slew of criminal activities, including money laundering and human trafficking, calling crypto a national security issue. According to Mnuchin, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are more capable of facilitating more crimes than fiat currencies, as if history of human transgressions began with the birth of Bitcoin. They're making it seem, for those who have not put that together, that only since the advent or the creation of cryptocurrencies have illegal things been happening. And government leaders around the world are now stating that crypto is the reason for all of this happening, and it was never, ever, 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 ever around before, especially not with other fiat currencies. In his latest appearance on CNBC's Squawk Box, Mnuchin refutes the fact that cash fuels money laundering, drug trade, and other illegal activities. He said, I don't think it's been successfully done with cash. I'll push back on that. We're going to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't become the equivalent of Swiss numbered bank accounts, which we spoke about yesterday. Here's an actual thing of the discussion that they had in a fresh round of combat published by Project Syndicate. Economist Nouriel Roubini reinvigorates his his analysis that cryptocurrencies are a source of evil and are inherently bad for society. He said cryptocurrencies have given rise to an entire new criminal industry comprising unregulated offshore exchanges, paid propagandists, and an army of scammers looking to fleece retail investors. Yet despite the overwhelming evidence of rampant fraud and abuse, financial regulators and law enforcement agencies remain asleep at the wheel, unleashing a list of allegations against crypto exchange BitMEX following a feud with CEO Arthur Hayes. Rubini focuses on a version of what can go wrong with emerging technology instead of highlighting scenarios where cryptocurrencies are outperforming analog money. The entire thing that they need to focus on, what they have become obsessed with focusing on when it pertains to the cryptocurrency community, is that there may be 15 people, there may be 100 people around the world who are using it for illegal or illicit activities, and therefore the wider cryptocurrency space is using it for illegal activities. We've had analysis before, thank goodness, from a number of cryptocurrency companies, and I think even other people who were pretty much agnostic when it came to the cryptocurrency space, meaning they were neither here nor there when it came to crypto. They found out that the cryptocurrency transactions that are happening within the cryptocurrency space are mainly taking place on cryptocurrency exchanges. They're mainly people swapping back and forth, trying to get more Bitcoin. They're people sending money from their families in one part of the world to Venezuela or to Colombia or to Japan or to so and so and so. We've had tons of news like that before, where we've had other interviews with people, not interviewing them myself, but we've read through other interviews. You've seen the videos on YouTube. People are sending money back and forth in cryptocurrencies, or even using cryptocurrencies in their own daily lives in California as a way to get away from the current monetary system. So to say that the cryptocurrency industry is just illegal, that people are only doing bad things, that there's only people trying to have some type of a unregulated offshore something where they can't be touched or it's completely ridiculous. Of course, humans are not perfect. There are more than likely a handful of people who are using cryptocurrencies for something that they probably should not be using it for according to governments, but that's just how everything works. To say that it is just simply cryptocurrencies is completely, dare I use the word, insane. At a House hearing on Facebook's Libra on Wednesday, U.S. Congressman Brad Sherman equated the efforts of technology. Here we go. U.S. Congressman Brad Sherman equated the efforts of technologists who endeavor to reinvent money and how it flows around the globe with the September 11th terror attacks in Manhattan. He said, "We're told by some that innovation is always good. The most innovative thing this century is when Osama bin Laden came up with the innovative idea of flying 2 airplanes into towers. That's the most consequential innovation, although this may do more to endanger America than even that." Do you understand how warped your sense of reality has to be to equate people using Bitcoin around the world to terror attacks that happened in America? Do you understand how outside of the realm of reality your mind is when you... So keep in mind, once again, this may be loosely tied to what's happening in Japan, but it's actually very closely tied. We have world government, congressional, parliamentary leaders who are making sure to step forward to announce how evil all of this is. Because what happens is when you announce that things are evil, when you announce that things are done by evildoers, that nothing good can come from it, you scare people and they stay away from it. I mentioned before that this happens very often. I remember this happening when I was a kid. I remember this happening multiple times across multiple facets, and you've definitely heard, we have all been, I don't want to use the word victim, we have all come into contact with something like this in our lifetimes, whether it be from a government, television show, a movie, something that was propaganda based, where we were meant to be afraid and terrified and terrorized by something because government leaders said that this was going to happen. We should be afraid because this equates to this, and we stayed away from it. Crypto supporters are pushing back against critics by separating the technology from its use cases, noting that illegal drug trade, human trafficking, money laundering, black market gun sales, and well-funded terrorist networks were all established before Bitcoin launched in 2010. The CEO of Morgan Creek Digital, his name is Anthony Pompliano, said there was $2 trillion of US dollars laundered last year. That is more than 6.5 times the entire crypto market cap. And one can only assume, probably, realistically, that the entire crypto market cap is probably not just used in some sort of illicit activity. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says the reactions that are happening are step 3 before final acceptance that Bitcoin and crypto are here to stay. He said, achievement unlocked. I dreamt about a sitting US president needing to respond to growing cryptocurrency usages years ago. He said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. He said, we just made it to step 3, y'all, which was also said a couple of days ago. Everything that these people are saying, I would love to, and I'm not going to because I think my brain would leak out of my head. I would love to have a conversation with these people to see if they actually feel this way, because there have been so many cases before in the past where government leaders, not just in the US, around the world, they're basically all the same, where they've had discussions about things where they talked about how much they hated something. This needs to be illegal. This is so and so and so. People have caught them on tape. People have recorded them. People have asked them a couple of months later how they actually felt about it, and they were like, yeah, I didn't really feel that way. Someone else told me to say so. I wonder if they really don't see the promise of cryptocurrencies. I understand the fear, or rather the fear that they may have of a new system taking over what they are doing, what they have been doing. I even understand to a certain extent wanting to regulate the system to make sure that illicit activity doesn't take place as often as it is currently right now with fiat currencies. But to equate it to terrorist attacks, or to say that it's only being used for illicit purposes, or that human trafficking, you have to wonder what's going through their minds when they take in the air to breathe and then release the air to say the things that they are trying to say. It's very, very odd. This also ties directly into the next story. Crypto analysts are trying to gauge the impact of a new investigation into the crypto exchange known as BitMEX. The U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission is probing the exchange known as BitMEX to determine if it violated the agency's rules by allowing Americans to trade on a derivative platform. This was reported by Bloomberg. The terms of service on the exchange state that trading is prohibited in the United States, and BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes says the platform removes anyone found to be using a VPN, or a virtual private network, to access the exchange. He said persons that are located in or residing or residences of the United States or Quebec are prohibited from holding positions or entering into contracts at BitMEX. BitMEX reserves the right to immediately close the accounts and to liquidate the open position of persons determined to be breaching its terms of service. Economist and analyst Alex Ruger says since the news broke, Bitcoin's price action has seen a choppy mess with no clear direction. You may have noticed sometime yesterday, prices were kind of all over the place. We got down to, I think Bitcoin fell to 9,100 and then shot back up to 10,800 over the course of a couple of hours. And that was after we had news a day or two ago that the guy from the government somewhere, there are too many people to pay attention to. It was a guy who said you can't kill Bitcoin. There's no capacity to kill Bitcoin. The price is shot back up. Whenever we have acknowledgement from a government leader that they really can't do as much as other leaders are saying that they're going to do, the price of Bitcoin moves heavily, because we kind of, the Bitcoin price will move up even if we get negativity, but Bitcoin's price usually does very well whenever someone comes forward and says, yeah, we know we can't really do it. What ended up happening is that for those of you who saw the little snippet in the last little news story that we were talking about, the people from BitMEX are now being investigated by the CFTC because of illegal practices. Do you want to know why they're being investigated? Because Nouriel Roubini has stated many times, he said on BitMEX, 95% of all Bitcoin transactions are fake. Nouriel Roubini has come out an enormous amount of times against the cryptocurrency market, against the cryptocurrency anything, where he's pretty much made sure to announce that everything happening on cryptocurrency exchanges are fake. People are not using cryptocurrency transactions. People are not doing anything with it. No one's touching it. No one's moving it. It's not really going anywhere. So if you, as an interesting person, that's the phrase I'll use, continue to say over and over that a cryptocurrency exchange has been doing something falsified, illegal, something's going on there, something's not completely right, and you wag your finger enough times, people will eventually begin to listen. What does affect the price is when people start to raid or talk about negatively cryptocurrency exchanges, whether it be through a major hack or simply announcing that 95% of their transactions that are happening on their exchange are completely falsified. These are insane allegations. And if you are going to say something as insane as that, you'd better make sure that you know exactly what you're talking about. Nouriel Roubini has been wrong before in the past many times. He's clinging on to any type of light that he had before when didn't he have a movie made after him or something like that? He's clinging on to these moments. And the fact that he is probably one of the biggest oppositional forces to cryptocurrency right now, they make sure that they keep him in the spotlight just to kind of make sure that crypto has a naysayer at the forefront of all of this. I think the newest naysayer right now is Mnuchin, bless his heart. But the opposition always needs a cheerleader, and it looks like Roubini is it. So for those of you who are wondering why, I think Bitcoin, it went up to 10,800 and 900, and I think it's currently around 10,500 to 300. It's been kind of doing these really weird sideways motions, and there were a lot of analysts who were talking about yesterday, or even this morning when I was reading the information, they were talking about where is Bitcoin going to go? Why is Bitcoin acting very choppy? It's because of this guy. When it's BitMEX is one of the largest exchanges. Arthur Hayes, is that his name? Feels like that's a singer. Where's his name? Arthur Hayes, yes, it's his name. When he goes on television, he's obviously a very large advocate for the cryptocurrency space. So when someone as large as him, it would kind of be the equivalent of if Nouriel Roubini was talking nonsense about Coinbase, and then Coinbase had the CFTC or the SEC go into their offices and was like, show us all your information, show us exactly what's going on, show us that you're not doing wash trading or that things aren't completely falsified or illegal. It kind of is what it is. This will blow over the next couple of days. I assumption, if nothing is wrong with them, we will not hear a sorry from Roubini. I assume he's probably just going to find another cryptocurrency exchange or another crypto. He's like a goblin. He's like a little annoying goblin who kind of just runs around and makes sure that he causes trouble. And then when the trouble is smoothed over, he makes sure just to cause trouble somewhere else. Anyway, for those of you who were wondering, and this, once again, this all ties into it. This is all people trying to make sure that they figure out negative ways to talk about the cryptocurrency community. Remember, for a lot of months, we had nothing but really great news about crypto. It was really cool. It was really awesome. It was really amazing. But now the news has shifted, at least on traditional news outlets, that cryptocurrency is negative, cryptocurrency is wrong, something's wrong with it. There has to be something fake. Something has to be wrong. Something has to be illegal. Who's using this? Where is it coming from? Why are people so into this? This is all flowing into the exact same thing. And this is once again why you have a major country talking about, well, if we can't control it in one way, we have to create our own SWIFT system to be able to make sure that we can kind of get it under wraps. The G7, for those who do not also know, have also warned that Libra itself will upset the world's economy if it isn't regulated tightly. I'm not going to even read through it. It's kind of, it's just the same type of madness. They're saying the same thing all over and over. And once again, I would have assumed that none of this was tied together. But for some reason, world leaders are incapable of doing things weeks apart. They make sure to spread fear the entire time. And this is why it's very important. And I mean important. If you are in the cryptocurrency space, if you are going to remain in the cryptocurrency space, if you like the cryptocurrency space, if you plan on being here for a couple of years, please, I implore you daily, whether it be even just looking at my videos when I talk about the craziness happening in the cryptocurrency space, try to do some type of research to figure out exactly what's happening so that you don't fall prey to the fear. Fear is a very big aspect that they try to use and are trying to use right now because they realize that they cannot control Bitcoin. Someone was asking me before in the comment section, and I'm going to try and say it as best I can without completely losing my mind, because I have the information in my head, but it's very difficult sometimes to articulate it. Someone was asking why I believe so much in Bitcoin and why government leaders can't simply ban it. They can't ban it because they don't have control of the network. This is what decentralization means. There isn't an office where people can kick in the door, such as BitMEX, and say, hey, something illegal is going on here, and they unplug the network from the wall. That's not how it works. They can't unplug 50,000 computers from the wall, there will still be 900,000 other computer, probably more, that are connected to the Bitcoin network. And you would need to dismantle all of them, or at least, so the theory goes, 51% of them to be able to harm the network. Bitcoin grows every single day. There is not a single point of failure. The network is permissionless. Anyone around the world can use it. Even people who hate Bitcoin. People who hate Bitcoin can go to Bitcoin Core, download the software, and they will be a Bitcoin user. They'll actually have a full node running on their computer. It's just kind of how things work. There's no way for governments to stop Bitcoin outside of terrorizing other people or telling them that they're doing something wrong. Something has to be completely illicit in what they're doing. You're not doing something that's correct that we have told you to try and do before. It's pretty much to scare people, or to try and create your own network to pretty much have people have their transactions flow through your system so that you can still see exactly where things are going. This is the main fear of governments. There will always, there will never be a point in human history where we will have people who are just doing things that are good. There will always be people who do things illegally, but to say that they will only be doing things illegally with this new system is false. That is the way that the things that they care about, that government leaders care about, is that they have control of the system. They want to keep control of the system. They know where all transactions are going right now, and this is why we are moving to a cashless society. Someone told me, I don't know who you were, yesterday in the comment section, why I believe that crypto is going to take over, when even Brad Garlinghouse said that the world, oh gosh, what was it? Brad Garlinghouse said that fiat won't disappear, that money won't disappear, and it's like, first of all, Brad Garlinghouse is not the overlord of crypto. He's not the overlord of the world. We know we've had information before from governments. If you look at my other videos, if you've been here even for the last couple of 3 months, we've had major world banks announce. You can Google it. Find this right now. They've said, we want a cashless society. Google, we want a cashless society, and write the word just bank after it. It'll come up as JP Morgan Chase Bank. It'll come as some other bank. Banks have openly said that they want a cashless society. They want to know exactly where all of these transactions are going, because they want to retain control. They need to know. This is why they keep saying the word money laundering. Money laundering isn't really a thing. Money laundering just means we tell you where your money can go, and you have to tell us where your money is going. You get it? You understand? This isn't me attacking just one single person. It's kind of me you have to dig deeper in the cryptocurrency space. Make sure that you read and listen to and understand everything that's happening. Why would government leaders all at the exact same time during G7, Japan trying to make their own new SWIFT system, BitMEX being investigated, world leaders talking about how evil and crazy cryptocurrencies are? This isn't all happening over the course of a year. This is happening over the course of a 4-day period. Keep all of this in mind when you think about the madness that's happening, and why they're trying to make sure that everything is so tightly and closely regulated. I was listening to something, and they were talking about, could Facebook actually launch their Libra, even with all of the backlash? And it's looking fairly certain like they're actually still going to be able to. What governments are trying to do right now is to make sure that Facebook has at least like banking charters, banking something, so that people are able to, that governments are able to see exactly where the transactions are going, which is even, you want to talk about a heavy dystopian world? Imagine Facebook, which already has all of your information and knows exactly who you're hanging out, when you're hanging out with them, at what time you're hanging out with them, what your location was. When you upload a photo, it scans it and says, do you want to tag yourself? Do you want to tag this person? It knows exactly who you are. Imagine governments around the world being able to enter into that, so they know exactly where you are, who you are, where you are, who you're with, what time you're there, when you're going on vacation, what you're eating, everything. And then they also know exactly what you're buying and when you bought it, because it's directly connected to Facebook. That is the most dystopian thing I can think of at the moment right now, and it's fairly looking like that's going to happen. Facebook is going to launch their coin. It's just that governments are going to be, they're going to be holding hands, skipping down the street as all of this happens. Just gonna put it that way. And also, let's move on. Also, what ended up happening yesterday? It says the ex-CEO of crypto exchange WEX was arrested in Italy. Not going to even read through it, regardless of what was happening, who he was, what he did. It doesn't really matter. There was also a third news story. I don't think I have it in this video that also ties directly into this as well. Anything that has to do with a cryptocurrency exchange and a rating of, an investigation into, or a arrest. Why this time? Why at the exact same time as BitMEX? Why at the exact same time as the G7? Why did this make the news at all? Why is, you understand that this is all created to instill fear in the wider cryptocurrency space. On a lighter note, but a more ridiculous note, Dogecoin is getting a second round of appreciation. After being one of the most prominent meme coins, now OKEX has added Doge to its trading pairs following the example of Binance. The listings are a curiosity, since Doge is more or less an abandoned project and coins will be mined to infinity with no cap on the supply. For those who did not know that, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Not only is there really no one kind of building on top of Doge or doing anything with it, there's no cap on the amount of coins, and they will be mined until people stop mining them, and there will be no cap on the amount of coins. The Dogecoin founder named Jackson Palmer has also moved on from the coin and has left it to the community. Palmer is also one of the more skeptical voices in the crypto community, warning against hype and irrational hopes. OKEX opened deposits for Doge on the 19th of July, and withdrawals will be available a few days later. Doge will get stablecoin markets in pairs with USDT and USDK. I had a couple people before asking me in the comment section if they should invest in Doge. If you have money to burn, go for it. If you like transacting with your friends in Doge, it is kind of fun. I won't lie. Years and 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 years ago, when I had Doge, I mentioned I had it when it first came out. It was kind of fun sending, like 15 million coins to your friend. You get those moments, hey, I'm a Doge millionaire, but it just pennies. So for those of you who like Doge, it is now on OKEX. For those of you who wanted to know, the coin has no developers on it per se. However, I would not be shocked if over the next couple of years we ended up having someone who's like, I'm going to take up the mantle and I'm going to start building on Doge. There's always that one person who ends up doing that. Anyway, let's move on to kind of finish things off in a very weird, and I mean weird, set of news. China is the global leader when it comes to searching for Facebook Libra on Google 1 month after the release of Libra's white paper. As of the 18th of July, China is the first in the list of countries Googling of Facebook's new cryptocurrency project, according to data from Google Trends. Based on the data, China has the highest proportion of search queries for Libra, with a maximum value of query popularity of 100. The top 5 countries include St. Helena, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Luxembourg. At the same time, the same query is surprisingly low in the United States, with estimated query value of 10. As such, the home country of Facebook is ranked 25th in the list based on the popularity of Libra's searches in Google. Google Trend data is not the only source proving the massive spike of interest in China to Facebook's Libra. China's Sin Weibo, the country's biggest social media network, has also recorded an increased popularity of Libra. China's focused online Twitter resource CN Ledger reported today that queries for Libra will compete with Alipay, and WeChat is now the second most popular search on Weibo. Weibo? Weibo. I'm going to say Weibo. Doesn't matter. Cryptocurrency is not exactly legal in China. I'm pretty sure Facebook is banned in China, and I'm more than certain that Google is also banned in China. Keeping those things in mind, I'm more than certain that Google is banned in China, because China doesn't allow people to, because Google is relatively open and China doesn't want people in their country being able to find information on historical events that you can find on Google. So I think I'm pretty sure they have their own Google. Anyway, the point is, with Google being banned in China, how the heck is China #1 in Google Trends to search for Facebook coin when it's banned in their country? You understand what I'm saying? It's a very odd situation. Obviously, there is some type of interest there. Maybe they heard about it on the news. They probably wouldn't have. You don't understand how restrictive China is. You can't really do anything in China. For those of you who are wondering, Google the Chinese Sesame credit score. That is Chinese Sesame credit score, and you'll understand exactly how dystopian that entire country is, but in weird news, they're number one when searching for Libra. Don't exactly understand why, but that's just kind of how things are at the moment. As always, a very large and special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Bankroll Network, Master Ventures in Thailand, Janae Francis, Triple M and J, My Keto Kitchen, Assam M. El Zofri, Adobo, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Nicholas Runner with One Piece, One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Tom Sucks at Basketball, and Sam Skips Leg Day, Jeremy the Photographer, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, and Mick Canick. Thank you all very much for your support at the moment. The market's greenish, all over the place though. Bitcoin is the only coin in the top 10 that is actually red. It's down by not even it's 0.01% in the red. All the other coins except for Tether are also in the red. It looks like Tether might be doing a little swing up, which may mean that the market may be moving down. It is the weekend. People aren't usually, or sometimes, as enthusiastic about the cryptocurrency space on the weekend. People like to go outside and do stuff, but it is lovely to see the market in green in some sort of way. Tron is up by almost 11%. Not exactly sure why Tron is up by 11%, but it's nice to see Tron is up by 11%. Dash is up by 7%. Where was the other? Nope. Bitcoin Gold is down, as is Doge. Kind of is what it is. Omise goes up by almost 7%. Omise goes a weird coin. It's never really in the news, but when it goes up fairly well. I can kind of say that. As always, or rather, mix that up. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Why is Bitcoin Diamond up 12%? 4.5 million trading volume. Got it. Hope you all have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you all once again for washing. Make sure to wash your clothes and wash yourself. And don't fall into any negative hype ever at all. I know it's not easy to not be scared when you hear that governments are trying to crack down on the cryptocurrency space. They cannot crack down on Bitcoin. You can ban Bitcoin all you want. That doesn't stop people from being able to use it. It is an open, permissionless network. Never, ever, 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 ever forget that. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Said it right that time. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.